What is up, guys? Welcome back to the series where we are trying to make Lando Norris world champion. Straight off the bat, as you can see, there was a pretty heavy shunt for the BWT Arden in practice. It was absolutely raining cats and dogs. Luckily for us here in qualifying, not so bad. It's a little bit cloudy, a little bit overcast, so the track temps will not be ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but it's dry, which is all that matters. So our first run here in qualifying, you can see your teammate is on provisional pole. We only go P7, but on the delta you can see already up going down start finish straight, probably about half a tenth into turn 1, but halfway through the lap the delta messed up when I went through sector 2, so you can see I'm down nearly 5 tenths, but it was actually positive by nearly 3 tenths of a second. That pushed me up to I believe it was P3, which dropped down to P5 for the end of qualifying, but I was happy with that. Our teammate's starting on pole, so yeah, that'll be interesting to see if he can convert that. I don't believe he's even gotten on the podium so far this season. His best chance was probably in Baku, but obviously, you know, he had quite a bit of damage. So if you can convert it, that'll be pretty handy. There's the top 3 in the bottom left-hand corner ourselves, 1 point ahead of Sir George Russell and then Alexander Albon. But looking at the constructors, it's pretty close as well. Only 20 points between ourselves and ART. Alex Albon in P8. So if he can't improve, he'll be starting on pole, and I reckon he'll most likely secure it. Secure the position. But you can see Maxi Gunther, he's having a torrid time at the moment with reliability in his car, but nonetheless, see if he can grab some points today, and if not, then well, there's always next race. Sergio Center Camera on pole position, Jack Aitken P2, George Russell our rival in P3, Markov ahead of De Vries, which is quite interesting, Fuoco in the top 8, which is going to be interesting to see how he goes, Sean Galeo P12, Delatraz 13th, Tadasuke Makino P16, I couldn't really get that out, Maxi Gunther 17th, and of course Nico Kari again at the back of the grid. But we're ready for the 5 lights to go out here for the feature race in Spain, and we are underway straight away, more or less. And you know, the same thing happens here. Awful starts. There's literally nothing we can do, unfortunately, the way the game's been made. Yeah, I just absolutely just rock it. If you're new to this series, then I promise you it's not me, but we're going to do the best we can, barging our way through 2 cars and go straight down the inside. Fuoco actually managed to hold the position. We actually got a warning for a collision with Latifi, which I'm not exactly sure if I made contact, but nonetheless, maybe tapped him a little bit. Fuoco's going incredibly slowly through here. He's stuck behind the Vries at the moment. We'll have a look maybe to the inside and see if there's anything doing. We're going to get a little bit of a better traction here on Fuoco by the looks of it. You can see he's losing it on the back end already, so to go around the outside, he's going to have to go on the grass just to avoid Fuoco just a little bit, going the long way around here, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of slipstream from De Vries, because Fuoco is still there on our inside, and De Vries is going to have to help us out here and give us a little bit of a tow. You can see side by side with Fuoco, this is a good little battle, but eventually he has to back out of it, or he would have ended up in the gravel. But not a bad start overall. You can see a replay here. We touched the grass just a little bit and managed to make our way around. But yeah, not a bad start at all. It's mediocre to say in terms of the actual starts itself. We can't really do much. But in terms of making up positions, try and get back to where he was at least. But moving on to the end of lap 3, about to start lap 4. We're pounding in some times now, trying to catch up to the drivers. We set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 1:35.0, as we're in pursuit of De Vries. And at the end of the following lap, you can see we're all right on the back of him, and he's going to have DRS wide open, so is ourselves. We've set another fastest lap, another 1:35.0. So not much difference in that lap between the last lap, but definitely going to put it in. We're going to go all the way down the left-hand side. We're going to brake so much later than De Vries. Have to be on the curb, and he's going to squeeze us, so we hold tight on the curb, get off the accelerator to let him back through, because that would have been a bit cheeky, but we've gotten him all sorts of offline, and he's just going to end up drifting to the outside, and we'll take that position there. Thank you very much, Nick, because he had no hope on the line he was on. We forced him onto a really dodgy line, and at that point he had to completely get out the throttle to make the corner. But coming into the pit lane, you can see we're up to, or was up to, quite a few positions away from podium. Lap 7, up in the pit, we're behind Markov. Markov's obviously in, and just ahead obviously is Jack Aitken as well. So all the leading cars are pretty much coming in, but you can see on the minimap we've got a few cars coming through the pit lane. There goes those cars. Markov's got to go. We got held pretty badly, so we obviously lost out the position. But Jack Aitken, of all people, look how many cars are going past him on the minimap. He got absolutely screwed, because he was ahead of Markov going into that pit stop face. The ART boy just got absolutely destroyed. He lost like 5-6 positions there, and it looks like on the minimap you can see The same things happened to George Russell. George Russell's really far behind, but we've got Nicholas Latifi there coming out just behind us. Could have been very close, but Froco has actually jumped us in the pit lane. I'm not sure how, obviously apart from our stop, but I would have thought maybe he had got held up a little bit as well, but it looks like it was just the ALTs who got absolutely screwed over by the pit stops. But Froco on the cold tyres, we are up to temperature in terms of hours. He's going to cover the inside. We're going to have to go all the way around the outside, very similar to what we did to him before, but at this point it was a little bit easier for us to actually get past him there. But nonetheless, Froco did put up a good fight. You can see we're now chasing down our teammate who's in P2, Markolov. I believe he must have jumped him in the pit stop phase, because Sete Camera was comfortably out. But you know, we've got to try and pound in some lap times now to try and catch up to Sete Camera if possible, and Markolov. Albon not too far behind, only a second behind here on lap 12, so we've got to keep our wits about us for Albon in case he does decide to mount a challenge for us. But you can see we're slowly catching Sete Camera as well as Markolov. Albon is quite a bit closer, so you know, we're worried a bit too much about him. That's going to go a little bit wide into the gravel, and that's going to allow Albon to close right up to the back of us. We've put ourselves in an awful position. We could lose 2 positions if we're not careful, because Latifi might fancy a run down our inside. Albon sailed past us with the help of DRS, of course, so we've got to try and reclaim that podium spot from Alexander Albon. Otherwise we're going to look like a bunch of silly sausages. That was such a silly mistake. Just let the car drift out a little bit too wide. You can see we're getting a pretty good run here if we can maybe make a move into our favourite corner here. But he's not defending the inside line as much as I want him to, so his line for the exit will be pretty good. We'll get a little bit underneath him, but it's not actually going to happen on that lap, unfortunately. But we moved to start the lap 15. You can see we've actually put in some banging times. We've gone almost a second quicker than we have done on the soft compound tyres. Going to go to the right, go to the left, all the way around the outside of Albon here. He's going to hold it down my inside a lot better than Froco did. Managed to dance around the outside, side by side here in turn 2. And it looks like it's going to continue all the way around through turn 3 as we come to the end of the first sector. He's still there. He's not giving us any quarters. He's still got his nose well in front. We're going to go all the way around, try and hold it around the outside if possible. We try and get the switch back on him, very similar to what we did last time, but it might work a little bit better than us for themselves. He actually hits us as we try and go around the outside. He's going to lock up. We're going to dive to the inside. This could be our best opportunity to get past Albon. We bang tyres again on the exit, and he's actually going to keep the position. So Albon getting his elbows out massively to hold his position. He really wants his podium by the looks of it, but it's only going to be inevitable coming down the start-finish straight with our DRS. We get past him easily. Like, he's going to stay to the outside line. There's no point in trying to fight that. Russell with the fastest lap, so he's trying to pump in sometimes to try and get back up the field a little bit. But we move up into P3, and we're going to do what we can to take that fastest lap off Russell. And straight away, 1:33.9, which is a little bit mad. They was able to set that fastest lap. But Giotto actually got past Latifi. Albon also struggled. I think he pushed too hard on his tyres. But we do come home for P3 in the feature race here at Spain. And that was a real tricky race, trying to get back to where we started. And obviously that battle with Froco, as well as Alexander Albon, was definitely a fun one. Now, this was a pretty fun race, pretty good race. The sprint race, the next race, now that is one hell of a race. And make sure to check that out. It's an amazing race. Won't be the next video. The next video will be obviously the Formula 1 career mode. But yeah, it's such a great race, and a rivalry is formed. Let's just put it that way, to say the least. But you know, hands off to Markolov. You know, he did good. Sets the camera and getting his first podium of the season here. But we had no real answer to Markolov or Sete Camera, to be fair. They just sailed off into the distance, and I have said before that, you know, Markolov has got an amazing pace, and like, he's a really quick driver, so if he's out in clear air, very similar to how he was in Baku, he can run off with it. Unfortunately, he did get tangled up with Sete Camera, but nonetheless, obviously helping us out in constructors, which we'll look at the full results now and see whereabouts we are. So obviously we get the fastest lap by not much of a margin, to be fair. Russell obviously I think was the closest one to us, so just about 2 tenths different from that. But Niraj Kazumi is going to be on pole position. Let's look at the standings. So you can see we have got a 7-point gap to Markolov. Russell down by 12 points. And Sete Camera down in 6th place, so he's a little bit further off. But hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you have, please do slap a like on it. If you're new around here, please subscribe to more Formula 1 content coming every other day. That's been it for me, guys. Please double check out the sprint race. It's going to be an amazing race. Till then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.